All right, testing my mic. 1 2 1 2. All right, testing my mic. 1 2 1 2. I should turn it on. All right. Sorry, I have a new phone and I definitely am getting used to it. All right. So obviously, if you've seen the title of the video, you probably know what this is about. The Mo Salah interview that he gave yesterday following Liverpool's 3-3 draw to Leeds at Elland Road, a game we should have won. A game that was maybe one of the more frustrating games I've seen. I actually said, what up, Limo? Oh, damn, hold on. I actually appreciate you doing that, Ash, because now I can situate my chat over here. Definitely one of the more frustrating games I've ever seen from Liverpool. Definitely not ideal, the result. Ibrahima Konate is not performing well for Liverpool. I've seen some reports basically stating that Konate could be sold this winter transfer window for approximately $15 million. I've seen reports that this is the case. Also, too, on top of that, I'm pretty sure that his contract expires at the end of the season. So, I mean, who knows how true that is, but, like, the guy has been playing like trash this entire season. It's a weird one. It also is odd because Real Madrid were allegedly in for Konate. Like, once his contract expired, they were, like, going to try to swoop in and do a Trent with Ibu to where it's like, run your contract out and then we're going to pick you up on a free. And from what I've seen and read, allegedly that's not even the case anymore, and that Real Madrid don't even want to get Ibu on a free. I wonder if he'll be sold in January. The problem with it is if we sell Konate in January, like we would then obviously have to buy a center back because we would need a replacement. We have no center backs at this point. I think he's a big issue at the back. I think Kirkez is a massive issue at the back. Yeah, all in all, I think it's just pretty awful, to be honest with you. Liverpool. A lot of people have criticized Verge. I don't think that realistically should be going on. And then obviously, midfield wise, Soboslai is our best player this season. McAllister hasn't been himself. Grav, okay. Cody Gakpo plays more than anyone at Liverpool. Don't ask me why that's the case. The problem with Gakpo is he's such a, when it comes to our fan base, he's such like a I don't want to say polarizing, but like our fans have very, very specific opinions on Gakpo. And what I mean by that is some people want to criticize him more than he should be criticized. I think that's bullshit. But then also too, some of our fans like to act like he should be starting every game and playing as much as Slot plays him. And I also just don't agree with that. So, Gakpo's a wobbler for me. The good thing about the Leeds game was two things. Obviously, Ekitike played very, very well. But then also, too, the manner with which Liverpool scored, I felt they scored in a way that was consistent with how I've been saying Liverpool need to play more often. Counter-attacking, quick in transition, don't let the opponent's back four get set defensively. The first goal from Ekitike, obviously he picked a pass from an error from the right back on Leeds, and countered quickly and scored. Kind of a weird niche situation because it was a mistake from Leeds, but ultimately it was a quick transition goal. His second goal was the same exact thing. Connor Bradley won the ball quickly, took like one or two touches, pinged it across to Ekatike. He got his foot on it before the goalkeeper did. And then the same thing with Soboslai's goal. Obviously capitalized on a situation to where Liverpool could counter. I think that is just where Liverpool played the best. But so far this season, we've basically seen Liverpool, whenever they get possession of the ball, they bring the ball slowly into the attacking third, and then allow the opposition to get set defensively. And yeah, we just look like shit. We're not able to really generate any chances, except like a good example is Isak's goal against Newcastle. Obviously was an example of when we possessed the ball into the attacking third and we got across into them, even though their back four was set, in my opinion. We were able to capitalize in that West Ham game. But I also think that West Ham are not a very good side, and I think that was just a reflection of that. I think West Ham, are probably one of the worst teams in the Premier League. I don't necessarily think they'll get relegated, but I think they'll probably be just above the relegation zone at the tail end of the season. Yeah, I looked at it like it was a frustrating result of us dropping points. Had we won, I think the narrative would be a little bit different. I obviously have been very vocal on the fact that I want Slot sacked, and that comes down to the style of play. The performances are not there. It's clearly a very different system to what we all know as Liverpool fans, and that is a big reason for why I think he should be sacked. And I said that before the game. Had Liverpool won the game, I would have said it. I think the only thing that you could give Arne Slot a little credit from that game is that Liverpool did play a different style of football in the game in terms of what resulted us in goals. I think we were very, very good in transition, and that resulted in the goals. Obviously, the big storyline coming away from the game is the interview that Mo Salah did after the game. I'll talk about it a little bit. I've already put a TikTok out on TikTok. Obviously, go watch it if you haven't yet, where I talked about it a little bit. My feelings on the Salah situation, the interview from Salah. Number one, Salah shouldn't have done the interview. That's like, what I'm going to say after that is going to sound as though I support Salah's decision and the interview in general. I don't think he should have done the interview. I think Salah's done this in the past where he'll have grievances with either the club or the manager or whoever, and he'll take it to the media. We saw it last season when there was issues with his contract, and then ultimately this all got resolved towards the tail end of the season when he signed a new contract. The best comparison I can give is that Virgil was going through the same situation as Salah in terms of the contract, and he did not take to the media or anything like that in the same way that Salah did. Salah, for whatever reason, has big grievances and feels the need to take it to the media, and he did it again this time. I understand, and I wanted to preface that by saying that I don't think he should have gone and done the interview and said what he said. However, I do think it's important to say that a large part of what he said in the interview, I understand why he'll be pissed. I understand the issues that he has with Slot. All of that. I do understand. And the reason I feel this way is, all right, let's take Mo Salah being dropped to the bench. Salah has now been dropped to the bench 3 consecutive games. from my perspective, as a Liverpool fan who's been talking about how I think Salah should be dropped, in countless videos I've said it, and I think a lot of Liverpool fans felt like that. Wasn't playing his best football. There's other players who I think deserved an opportunity. That does not mean that Mo Salah should not play. Not starting a game and not playing Mo Salah whatsoever are two drastically different things. For instance, Mo Salah in the Sunderland game did not start, came on at halftime. I think that there's no issue with that. I really do wonder that. And then also too, dropping Mo Salah for a game or two is one thing. Dropping him to the bench for 3 consecutive games is strange, especially when a lot of Liverpool fans had grievances and were calling for him to be dropped because Salah was playing every single game for 90 minutes and he wasn't playing well. So we were like, why are we playing a guy who's not performing well? Like, even if you're not going to drop him, maybe you take him off after 60, 70 minutes. Like, that's not what's going on now. It's like an all or nothing type of thing with Liverpool and Arne Slot now, to where Salah was not performing well playing 90 minutes. Then against West Ham, you drop him, don't play him at all. When that happened, I thought to myself, all right, bit weird, but whatever. Fine, I guess. I honestly chalked that up more to the fact that I thought, and I've said this on stream, I've said this in videos, I thought Slot dropped Salah because he was resting him because Salah's going away to African Cup of Nations. That was why I thought he was getting dropped as much as he was. Turns out that's not the case. Didn't play at all against West Ham. Played for 45 minutes against Sunderland, and then didn't play at all against Leeds. Liverpool fans saying that we think Salah should be dropped from the starting lineup for a game or two is not the same as in a 3-game span, Mo Salah plays 45 minutes out of a possible 270 minutes or whatever it is. Those are completely different things, completely different scenarios. So that for me is, kind of my thoughts on it. That one of the grievances Salah has is that he says, it seems as though someone at the club, whether it be Slot, it seems like he's talking about Slot, wants to put all of the blame on him. I don't see how that could honestly become like a reality, because Liverpool played like shit with Salah in the starting lineup week in, week out. Now we barely play Mo Salah and we still look like garbage. So I don't really understand how you can make the argument, that it's one way and not the other. Liverpool don't look any better or worse with Salah in the lineup or out of the lineup. And that goes back to the manager then. I definitely, but here's the big problem with the Salah interview. Salah comes out and basically talks about how he's getting screwed over by Slot and the club. And then what ends up happening is now the club are in a weird situation to where, let's say after the Leeds game, the club were really considering sacking Arne Slot. Then Salah comes out and basically calls for the guy's head. And the club are now in a weird situation to where they're probably not going to sack Slot, because if they do, the mindset of everyone is going to be that Slot got sacked because Salah said so. That's like a tongue twister in and of itself. But that, Mo Salah is the dictator of Liverpool Football Club and got the manager sacked because he has an issue with him. I think that would be what the narrative is if that was to come to fruition. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. That's my thought process behind the entire thing. I don't like the fact that he did the interview. I agree with a lot of what he said in the interview, in terms of the content of his talking points. Basically, that Slot the club is making him a scapegoat for Liverpool's bad running performances. Because don't kid yourself, right? Had Liverpool won against West Ham, drawn against Sunderland, and then won again against Leeds, the narrative definitely would have been against Mo Salah. I 100%, because then it would have been, we've won 2 and drawn 1 in 3 performances since dropping Salah, and the 2 wins came from games where Salah didn't even make an appearance in the game. That definitely, the narrative would have not looked good for Salah. The fact that Liverpool dropped points now definitely makes makes the narrative a little bit different. The thing Ashley said Salah shouldn't be talking to the media, but Slot has to go 100%. Yeah, no, Slot has to go. Another thing that just annoyed me about it was Salah telling the media, the game against Brighton might be my last game because Liverpool are going to sell me. Liverpool are not going to sell Mo Salah in the winter transfer window while he's at African Cup of Nations. If they do, the club looks bad. What the club's just got to do now, right, is just sit back now, don't do anything. Don't sell Salah, don't sack Slot. I actually think Salah coming out and talking bought Arne Slot a little bit more time. I think that ultimately what it's done is given Slot some more time to try and figure out the situation, try to win games, turn the form of Liverpool around. That's just my thoughts on it. I think while he's at African Cup of Nations, if Liverpool continue to go down an abysmal run of form, I think he'll probably get sacked. I think, but again, Salah shouldn't be talking to the media. He shouldn't be coming out and saying what he's saying. Especially this isn't the first instance of him doing it. But Slot's got to go. Slot's got to go. And people will bring up the last season. The problem is also too, I look at it and I'm like, I genuinely do think that had this whole situation with Salah not happened, had Liverpool not gone on a bad form, or even if they did go on a bad run of form and the club decided to move in a different direction with the manager position, I do believe that Slot would have been looked at favorably. Now, since this whole thing has come out, I think if he does get the sack, I do think that the club or the overall view of Arne Slot will be looked at kind of weird. I don't think people will remember him that fondly. Especially, the worst thing that could happen is that what Salah says is going to happen really occurs. If Salah is like, oh yeah, I actually think I'm going to be sold in the winter, and then that legitimately happens, my gosh, the club, people are going to... Liverpool fans might storm the stadium if Mo Salah is sold in January. And rightfully so. There's no reason for Mo Salah to be sold just because he has a bad run of form. He's been at the club for years. Just 6 months ago, he was the best player in the Premier League. The difference is Arne Slot has not earned that grace. And for that reason, I think he needs to go. Truthfully. It's what it comes down to. I don't know. I think people might have differing opinions. I've seen fucking Piers Morgan come out and be like, oh, Mo Salah, come do an interview with me. I'll tell you right now, I will lose a ton of respect and a ton of support for Mo Salah if he goes and does an interview with Piers Morgan. Because I thought that was whack when Ronaldo has done it. I really, really hope Salah does not go do that. Honestly and truthfully, I really, really hope that is not what he decides to go and do. It just would not be a good look. Would not be whatsoever. But yeah, that sorry, I'm looking at something right now. Man, there's I don't know. I'm looking at like another YouTuber's reaction to this whole Salah and slot situation. And then with all of this, people have basically been talking about Gerrard potentially being a replacement for Slot. I love it. Like, is Steven Gerrard going to do worse than Arne Slot is doing right now? Arne Slot sucks right now. And I think that, like, just bring him in as an interim manager. I think it could make it. Maybe it doesn't make a difference. Like, if we're gonna keep Slot or bring in Stevie, I'd rather us bring in Stevie. Like, it's the worst that's gonna happen. I would love to see Stevie G come in. Yeah. As would I. I think just as an interim manager for the remainder of the season, why not? Let the vibes roll high. Like, what's the worst that happens? Do we lose a bunch of games? Like, or draw a bunch of games? Like, oh man. What a nightmare that would be, as if that's not already fucking happening at Liverpool Football Club. Like, oh, with Steven Gerrard, we're just going to lose games, draw games against teams that are newly promoted. Oh my gosh, what a shame. What a shame. That would be a horrible thing to happen at Liverpool Football Club, as if it's not currently happening with Arne Slot as the manager. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what the solution is. I think what the club does is going to be interesting. I don't know what they will do. I really, it baffles me. The entire thing baffles me, to be honest with you. Again, because I think what Salah said wasn't wrong, but going to the media, I hate that. I hate that. I really do. I think the fact that he post-match, like, come on, that's not the right thing to do. It's not. It's, you got to, and you could tell he's emotional in the interview too. You could tell he's not like taking time to let it all settle in and stuff. But Mo Salah not featuring in matches can't happen for Liverpool. You're not going to play him, like, so we just don't play Salah. What is that about? You know, that's what I don't understand. Like, it's one thing to drop him to the bench. It's another thing to just not bring him on whatsoever. I think that is, one of my big issues with it. You know. This might be a quick stream, to be honest with you, because not a lot of people joining. I don't really get this whole. Never mind. "47 goals and assists in the Premier League is so much higher than 56 goals." Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm reading comments that I've just gotten on my TikTok. Yeah, I don't. I wonder if the club are going to come out with a statement or something like that. That'll be interesting to see. Because, that'll really be, or Slot's going to be questioned about the entire Salah interview. And do we play midweek this week? I know we play Brighton. I know it's Brighton. What day is it, though? No, it's Saturday. So we'll probably hear from Slot by, if I was to guess, I'd say we hear from Slot by Friday or something like that. Because he's going to get asked about it. His response is going to be... His response, depending on what it is, might break the damn internet. So, we'll see about that. I don't really know. What do you even say? I think he needs to answer for why he's dropped Salah and not brought him off of the bench. That's my big thing is, I don't really care that you've dropped Salah to the bench. Why is Mo Salah not featuring in games whatsoever? That's my big issue. It's okay to drop Salah to the bench. Couldn't care less. In the Sunderland game, you brought him on after 45 minutes. Why did we not see Mo Salah play in the West Ham game? Why did we not see Mo Salah play in the Leeds game? Both times he just never came off of the bench. I don't understand that whatsoever. For the life of me, he was the best player in the English Premier League last year. He got the most goals and most assists. He was a runner-up, not first runner-up, but came in fourth for the Ballon d'Or. One of the best players in the world. Yet we just don't play him. Yeah. Pretty fucking stupid. Oh, is my camera gone out? No. Sorry, I thought my camera went out for some reason. Looked like it did on my end. Thank you for letting me know my camera's fine, Ashley. Alright, I'll give it a few more minutes and then I'm into the stream. I'm not going to just come on and talk to myself.